In this video, we will review the Alaska Land Mobile Radio interoperable zones. These zones, separated into geographic boundaries, are used for various functions and are available for all ALMR users. These zones should be utilized for interoperable communications amongst multiple agencies in the system. Interoperable zones can be used for a variety of functions. As an example, a multi-agency incident where there's numerous responders responding from different agencies may have a zone or channel assigned to them from the interoperable zones to take care of various functions and allow for each agency to communicate with each other. This carries on to larger scale incidents such as a mass casualty or natural disaster response, where instead of simply having several neighboring agencies respond, you may have agencies from a further geographic distance or simply more agencies in a larger scene to manage. The interoperable zones can also be used to communicate with agencies that you don't normally communicate with. An example of this could be federal agencies that are part of the system, or a local communicating with military agencies, or similar. Finally, the interoperable zones can be and are encouraged to be used for exercises and training, especially as they relate to large-scale incidents or practicing communication protocols amongst different agencies. The three interoperable zones are the North Zone, Central Zone, and Southeast Zone. These areas correspond roughly to the areas shown on the map. If your agency is located in Zone 2 of the ALMR system, north of the Denali Highway, you will be part of the North Zone. The Southeast Zone covers areas in southeast Alaska, and the remainder of the state should utilize the Central Interop Zone. It is encouraged to have all three zones on your subscriber units if you have capacity available. This is the example of the Central Interop Zone. The Central Interop Zone, as well as the North and Southeast zones, have the same lineup. The zone starts with a hail or all call channel known as Central Call. This is the channel that's monitored by your regional dispatch center and can be used to request the use of the zone. Central Command 2 through Central Command 6 are trunked ALMR talk groups. These function in a similar way to other trunk talk groups that you may use for your home agency. These talk groups can be used for wide area response and may be assigned to you by your central dispatch center for that region. Number 7, the Central Multi-Group, is a special talk group that utilizes Command 2 through 6 talk groups. When you key up on the Central Multi-Group, it will broadcast something on the 2 through 6 command channels. Conversely, the multi-group will let you monitor all at the same time the 2 through 6 command channels. The multi-group is useful for areas where a large-scale incident is happening and safety or other types of announcements need to be made, or for monitoring by the command staff. Keep in mind to not use the multi-group if you are not assigned to your incident to channels 2 through 6, as you may interfere with other operations. Starting with line 8, these simplex or tactical channels are available to you. These are a mix of national interoperable channels as well as state conventional interoperable channels. As a member of the ALMR system, you are entitled to use the state channels, and all public safety agencies can use the tactical channels. These channels are appropriate for on-scene communication. For instance, you may use the National TAC 1 channel for traffic control on an incident that's based on a highway. These are useful for when the traffic going through those channels does not need to be shared over a wide area or does not necessarily need to be monitored by an incident command. Whenever possible, move traffic off the command channels, off the trunk channels, and onto tactical channels. This allows the system capacity to be maintained for the additional traffic on the main talk groups. As you can see, the north interop is the same layout as the central interop zone, simply with the N replacing the C. The functions are the same. Again, we can see the southeast region with SE replacing the N or the C. All other functions and layouts remain the same. To request the usage of the interoperable zones, you should request that from your regional dispatch center. The Southeast Regional Zone is monitored by the Juneau Dispatch Center or the Fairbanks Dispatch Center. The North Zone is monitored by Fairbanks, and the Central Zone is monitored by MAPCOM. Come up on the call channel and call the dispatch center to request assignment of the channels. Keep in mind that the tactical channels starting with the line 8 through line 16, including the national TAC and state conventional channels, are not trunked or monitored. These channels do not have to be requested since they are for local traffic only. ALMR policy and procedure, as well as the concept of operations document, outlines protocols during an interoperable event. Common protocols during a large-scale incident are the same for any type of public safety radio communication protocol you may use on a day-to-day basis. However, the increase in traffic and increase in agencies makes radio discipline an even more important responsibility. Be sure that you are using short, concise communications, showing good radio discipline, and using common language when dealing with multi-agency responses. In addition, the interoperable channels are designed to be used in clear mode. This will ensure that there is no mismatch or miscommunication between radios and receiving units if they do not have a specific encryption key attached. If you have the need to use the interoperable channels in a secure mode, contact the ALMR help desk for information on that encryption key. Remember to always defer channels to emergency traffic and to utilize tactical channels for any type of local traffic that does not need to be monitored in a wider area. Members of the ALMR system have responsibilities when it comes to interoperable communications per policy. Make sure that your equipment is on the approved equipment list will ensure that it's interoperable with other users of the system. In addition, member agencies should ensure that their end users are trained and have exercised interoperable communications, including the interoperable zones. In addition, the interoperable zones must be programmed in each radio. At a minimum, you must program the zone which your agency resides in. However, if your radio has capacity, it is recommended to put all 3 zones in the radio. Make sure that your radios are properly maintained, and be sure to use the interoperable zones for training and exercise as needed. There were 2 versions of the interoperable plan. The first interoperable plan, when the ALMR system was introduced, was then simplified and streamlined in 2019 to the 3 different interoperable zones. The old interoperability corresponded with the Alaska State Troopers detachment map. If your interoperable zones still start with an A, B, C, D, or E, or F, you may have the old interoperable zones programmed on your radio. Ensure that you have the current code plug for interoperability programmed in all of your member agency radios. You can contact the ALMR help desk to obtain the code plugs. Please don't hesitate to contact the ALMR help desk or the Operations Management Office with any questions. Reference materials are available on our website at alaskalandmobileradio.org.